Opening the part module. The first block contains the creation of planes, projection, and conversion of face edges into 3D curves. The second block contains the main modeling features. These are the extrude, revolve, loft, and sweep features. The third block contains the fillet and chamfer commands. Next, the commands for patterns and operations for moving, rotating, and scaling. The shell, face operation, and combine bodies blocks. Clash test function and definition of body colors and materials. Here are the functions for creating curves and 3D dimensions. Let's open a part model file. As previously explained, the list of features and commands is on the left side area. It is active when the pencil icon is selected in the middle bar. In addition to this, you can configure a visual folder for quick file access, such as collaboration, drawing, part and assembly files, user and standard library buttons, and the Sheet Template button. Through the Configuration button, access the general settings for dimensions, colors. In addition to general customization, etc., the standard reference planes, XY front plane, XZ top plane, YZ right plane, and the standard reference axes X, Y, and Z. In the bottom bar area, there are the blocks functions for manual OSNAP, automatic OSNAP or auto info, filters, 3D views, render, and windows. In the upper right corner, there is the visualization cube and the dynamic model visualization buttons. To activate one of them, select it and drag the mouse with the left button pressed. Here we have an additional model visualization control menu. When we move the mouse to the lower area, the quick access bar is displayed. The first button, if the product is active for collaboration, is for creating a collaborative model. Next, the activation functions for the product modules, drawing, part, and assembly. The buttons for printing, all drawing, or printing defining a rectangular area. The button for opening a file and reprocessing the active model. And the zoom and view all functions. Let's create a new part model. The sketch environment is where we create the contours or profiles of planar curves like arcs, lines, and splines that will be used to create features such as extrusion, revolution, etc. To create the first sketch, just click on one of the standard reference planes, XY front plane, or XZ top plane, or YZ right plane, by clicking on the XY front plane. The sketch environment is activated. Note that the model view angle is not modified. Also, you can configure that when a sketch is created, the system automatically changes the view to frontal to this plane. Let's configure this. Go to the Configuration button. General Customization, 3D, and activating the option. On Creation, show sketch in front view. Returning to the sketch, choose the frontal XY reference plane again. Note that the sketch environment works with the X and Y planar coordinates, as already explained in previous videos. The commands of this environment are the same as those of the drawing environment. In other words, in solid face, the functions of the 3D sketch and 2D drawing environments are the same. Unlike other products, in which you need to learn two different environments, one for drawing and another for sketch. Let's remember some functions of the sketch module already shown in the drawing environment videos. Some functions also automatically create associative dimensions. Such functions are circle, rectangle, multiple lines. In the sketch module, it is not necessary to worry about adding constraints to a geometric construction. As the geometry is constructed, constraints or associations are automatically created, creating a circle and a rectangle. Using the relative point option. To edit the rectangle or circle, click twice on the entities. Select the dimension with the Control key activated. Let's edit the radius of the circle. Joining the circle and the rectangle, with a straight line and an arc. Indicate the first and second point, then the internal point or the arc radius. Creating manually the arc dimension and line dimension. Close the sketch and save the drawing with a name. To edit or return to sketch, double-click on its position in the list of commands. Let's delete the two vertical lines. Select some elements to make a mirror. Join the circle with the tangent lines. To select elements individually, click on the desired geometry entities, dimensions, or texts. Or define a selection by area. Note that you can switch between selecting geometries and/or dimensions. When the dimension is active for selection, a visual mark is shown on each dimension or text. Sometimes you need to select all active sketch geometry. Use the Active Group Selection option for the 2D drawing or sketch selection when the sketch module is active. Activate Mirror. Select the extreme point. Mirror with a 90-degree angle. Join the lines to create a closed external contour. Create an extrusion by midplane or medium and a distance of 50. Create some 3D dimensions. Select the edge and type Enter. Edit the dimension position. Select the front face and open a sketch. Creating double center lines. And a dimension. And a single center line. Create a circle at the center line midpoint. A new circle in the lower quadrant. Create a rectangle at the midpoint and position it by center. Edit the values by selecting the dimensions with the Control key pressed. Delete the center line. Delete the lines individually. Activate Line Partial Erase command to delete line segments. To activate the repetition mode to continue to use the last function, type the Enter key. And continue deleting the desired line segments. Defining concordances with equal radii. Let's define a variable r that controls the radius. Define the variable r with 2. The variable r is shown in the list of variables, defining the lower fillet also with r. Click on the variable r in the list to edit it to 1.5. Create an extrude feature with the option Cut till a face. Now select the front face and create a new sketch. Copy the 3D face edge contour as sketch curves. Define an offset of this contour. The mouse position defines the offset position. Create an extrude cut. A sketch plane can also be used to create a section in the model. For example, if you need to create a cut feature at a distance from a face, define a plane with the distance of 5 from the selected face. Activate Sketch on this plane. And activate Section option. Create a rectangle by relative point. And an extrude cut feature from this rectangle to the cylindrical face. Edit some dimensions. can occur when a relative point is edited. Its distance value is shown with a negative signal. It is important to keep this negative signal when editing the value.